Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's webinar, IoT Security Best Practices, Safeguarding Devices, Data, and Networks. Presenting today's topic is Mitch Garvis. Mitch is an IT professional with over 25 years of experience in designing, implementing, securing, administering, and managing secure systems and network infrastructures for companies of all sizes, including private, public, government, as well as military. As a technical trainer and certified instructor for over 20 years, Mitch has consistently received excellent instructor evaluations, reflecting his commitment to delivering the best training possible. He's also been recognized by corporations like Microsoft for his expertise and has been an award-winning blogger for over 2 decades. Now, please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. And today's presentation is from the security practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session will help you understand how to leverage the power of IoT without compromising security. In this webinar, we will discuss strategies for building a secure IoT ecosystem that protects devices, data, and networks from cyber threats. And now I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handouts section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic. Hey, Mitch, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, my name is Mitch Garvis. I am a trainer with Netcom Learning. Today we are going to discuss the Internet of Things, or IoT, what it means, and how and why we need to pay special attention to securing the devices that fall under these categories. On our agenda, we will cover an introduction to the IoT and the benefits of these devices. We will discuss some of the security challenges in IoT and then some best practices for securing them. I will talk about future trends and laws that some governments are currently discussing to help increase the security of everything. The Internet of Things is really any device that we would not traditionally think of as being a computer that is nonetheless able to connect over the Internet and share data and receive data. These include things like fitness or smartwatches that many of us wear, home automation and security systems, including doorbell and nanny cams and smart speakers, medical devices in hospitals and at home, right up to building automation systems and supervisory control and data acquisition, or SCADA, systems for weather monitoring, oil and gas pipeline operation, and all manner of public utilities. It even includes the drones that many of us wish we'd had as children, and yes, even our automobiles. While it might seem like magic in some cases, these devices connect to the network in much the same way you would expect any other computer device to. Some of them will connect directly to the internet, while others will connect via Bluetooth to an app on our phones or computers, and in turn, the phone or computer will transmit and receive the data to and from the internet. In all of these cases, there is network connectivity, and they all have a network interface connection, or NIC, that has a physical MAC address, as well as a network address, which is usually IPv6 or IPv4. There are huge benefits of the Internet of Things. There are so many ways that these devices make our lives easier, more convenient, and even safer. First of all, we can now control systems from anywhere. This can be weather stations in the middle of the Sahara Desert or Antarctica, or on a buoy in the middle of the ocean that measures and reports currents, or the pan tilt zoom camera that a remote security agent can use to watch for shoplifters. We can do our part for the environment while saving money. Home automation systems allow us to turn the heat or air conditioner on when we are almost home, rather than leaving them at full blast so that we don't freeze or boil our bottoms waiting for them to kick in, or expensively leaving them on when we go out so that we are comfortable as soon as we walk through the door. Remote video monitoring is great for the home, so you can see the porch pirates who are stealing your packages, or use a nanny cam to make sure your kids are being responsibly cared for by the neighbor's daughter, or even to talk to your dogs and cats in the middle of the day when you are stuck at the office. For business, it allows us to monitor what is happening in real time without needing to pay for a dedicated security agent to be on site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. IoT video is allowing our wildlife experts to observe animals in the wild without interacting with them. 50 years of behavioral observations of the great apes was recently deemed completely inaccurate because well-meaning scientists did not take into account that their presence among the primate populations affected the behaviors of those primates. By installing remote cameras in the jungles of Africa, primatologists are able to observe these magnificent creatures in their undisturbed natural habitat. If our armies and peacekeeping forces were to use drones to observe potentially hostile populations, they could deploy teams only when necessary, avoiding the very real problem caused by the usually unwanted soldiers, who are all too often the cause of many disturbances. Data is knowledge. Knowledge is power. When we are collecting data from dozens or even thousands of meters or monitors, Being able to have it all delivered in real time to a central database where it can be useful immediately and not rely on people having to package and transmit it, or in many cases, travel out to the source to get it, can be the difference between succeeding or not. As an example, it would be nice to know, based on historical data, that the meteorological conditions that led to a hurricane or tornado were present to create the storm that just passed through. Real-time data lets us warn residents to either take shelter or evacuate in advance. As I've been losing weight and getting into shape, I've relied so heavily on my fitness watch, which counts my steps, tracks my heart rate and breathing, and so many other metrics. It is nice to see on my wrist how am I doing now. When my watch syncs to my smartphone and uploads the data to the cloud, it lets me access it on a large screen so I can monitor trends, increase my pace or distance, or even take 5 minutes to do some breathing exercises. For people with medical issues, such as heart conditions or diabetes, these body area networks, or BANs, can alert a patient of low or high levels of insulin and either alert the patient to or even inject insulin automatically. If it detects an irregular heart rate, it will alert the wearer and can even let the hospital know that the patient is in distress and might be en route. Military drones have been in use for nearly 30 years, but with the advent of civilian drones, we can do aerial photography in ways that previously would have required a helicopter and camera crew. Companies like Amazon have been experimenting with using drones to deliver packages, and companies like Uber have been experimenting with driverless taxis, all of which are IoT devices. If you aren't ready for that yet, never fear. Tesla is not the only self-driving car available to the market, and even my 2017 Subaru, which I'm quite happy to drive myself, thank you very much, uses satellite communications to get traffic data and weather data from the internet. The convenience of the Internet of Things cannot be fully covered on a single slide. If your business isn't using the IoT yet, don't worry, it will, and probably sooner than you think. The problem with a lot of our IoT devices is that they are usually designed for a single purpose, without the flexibility of a PC or server's operating system to provide extra security functionality. The fact that your Wi-Fi camera does not have what we would usually think of as an operating system does not mean that they are not susceptible to any number of attacks, including hacking, malware, and sniffing. What else? That's the problem. We do not always know what other potential threats are out there that the cyber bad guys are concocting in their lairs as we speak. Any device that is connected to a network is automatically vulnerable to being targeted by the enemy. I mentioned on the last slide that data is knowledge and that knowledge is power. We have to remember the CIA triad to ensure our data is safe and secure. The confidentiality, integrity, and availability of our data can make all the difference. If it is leaked, then our secrets are no longer secret. If we cannot get it in a timely manner, then it may be obsolete and irrelevant. If we cannot trust the integrity of the data, then it becomes meaningless and ultimately useless. There have been countless cases of nanny cams that have been hacked, so rather than protecting our children, they're actually putting them in danger. Worse, what happens when a drone that can fly hundreds of feet in the air and for kilometers in any direction is hijacked by someone who thinks that it would be fun to fly it into fast-moving oncoming traffic? What about a hacker who takes over your car and goes on a reckless joyride without any threat to his own security or safety, but endangers the life of you and anyone else on the road. Security may be top of mind to your server and desktop teams who are monitoring your systems with familiar SIEM and SOAR tools that were designed to monitor every aspect of your data center and which were made to deal with exactly the sort of traditional threats that we faced for decades. They work on those devices on a daily basis, and their security dashboards let them know from an operating system and tools that are designed for the purpose when there is a threat or potential threat. The problem with the Internet of Things is that it is so new that most of us have not yet realized the true security threats out there. What about devices that are deployed remotely that nobody ever touches? Out of sight should never be out of mind. But most of the professionals deploying these devices are more aware of the threats that they are familiar with, the physical security and integrity of the devices, rather than potential cyber attacks. The three R's is a term that I coined that should be drilled into every IT professional, from the newest students to the most seasoned industry veterans. First, it is of vital importance to realize the threat is real. Any connected device is a potential target, and there are threat actors out there who will be targeting them. These actors can range from script kiddies living with their parents to nation-state agencies with seemingly unlimited funds and resources, and everyone in between. Whoever you might be protecting your servers from can and will also target your IoT devices and infrastructure. We have to remember that the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your data and devices must be rigorously secured and protected with the same vehemence and enthusiasm with which we protect our data center servers and workstations. We also have to remember that the lack of internal security options on these devices means that we have to use an out-of-the-box approach. And do not for a minute think that password protection is going to keep your devices safe. If you do not respect the threat actors are coming for you, then you have already lost the battle. Even the script kiddies in mom's basement now have the tools to get through almost anything you throw at them, let alone organized crime and nation states with unlimited resources. After all, why would they go after your servers, which they know are properly protected, when they can just hack into your IoT devices? There have been horror stories of videos being released from hacked nanny cams on the dark web where there is simply no rule of law. If you are running an oil refinery in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico or a building automation system for all of your properties, the results of these intrusions can be catastrophic. When we cannot thoroughly protect the actual device against cyber threat actors, we have to rely even more heavily on perimeter security. Firewalls and network segmentation can go a long way to protecting our devices behind different layers, and defense in depth is crucial to keep your IoT devices secure. At the same time, we have to monitor these systems to ensure that the traffic is only going to where it is supposed to go. Intrusion prevention systems, or IPS devices, can bolster that with artificial intelligence and machine learning, with systems that can proactively act when irregular traffic and behavior is detected. It is equally important to implement a secure wrapper, such as IPsec, to make sure your data in transit is properly encrypted so that when and not if the bad guys try to sniff your traffic, they will not have access to your unencrypted data. Device security and integrity should not be an afterthought. It has to start even before you purchase the device, making sure you source the devices from trusted vendors. Unfortunately, we live in a world where some device manufacturers are in bed with the nation states in which they are created, and it is not unheard of for those companies to include malicious spyware, or worse, directly into the firmware of the device itself. And of course, never, ever ignore security patches for your device firmware, and never underestimate the vital importance of patch management for your devices. For devices that are still vendor supported, it is critical that you listen to those people who are more invested in that device than you are. The minute a security update is released to your device, you have to assume that the threat actors are already working on reverse engineering it to see what security flaws an unpatched device might have left exposed. By leaving your device unpatched, you are just making it easier for them. And what about for devices that are no longer vendor supported? Well, I know that there may be serious costs involved with these, but if security is front of mind, then you might have to consider replacing them with one that is. Many countries are beginning to debate and pass laws that will govern the labeling of the IoT devices so that the consumer will understand some of the risks. In the US, the White House National Security Council has stated that it hopes to have standardized security labeling in place for consumer IoT device manufacturers by early this year. Guess what? None of that matters. There's an old saying that when lollipops are made illegal, then only criminals will have lollipops. Do not be fooled into thinking that these laws will protect you from the myriad nefarious players out there. We lock our doors because we do not want criminals getting in. Why should we treat our devices any differently? Nanny cams and building automation systems and SCADA systems are all targets for bad people who do not respect these laws. So where are we going? Every day there are new IoT devices coming out. Everyday objects and appliances and vehicles that were once completely standalone and were connected only to a power source. In a day and age when even refrigerators and laundry appliances are now internet enabled, we have to assume that this trend will continue and even pick up. In the 1993 movie Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes, we saw the completely automated home and society. What was once only science fiction is now reality. And the more this happens, the more we have to be aware and proactive with the security concerns around the Internet of Things. With all of our personal information out there, it is vital we remember to take every security measure we can to protect our privacy. When you bring automated devices into your home, when you can buy a smart speaker for $25, you have to remember that you are sacrificing your privacy. Ignoring the importance of securing and protecting these devices is just asking for trouble. Governments have taken legal steps in the past 20 years to protect our personal health information, or PHI. The Internet of Things in healthcare is projected to top $267 billion this year. And if we do not protect it, our lives can literally be on the line. The more we put online, the more we put on the internet, the more exposed we are. It is only a matter of time before hijacked Internet of Things cars claim their first victims. And until those pesky drones are not simply invading our privacy when they fly over our swimming pools and beaches, but are used to cause major automobile accidents and even cause airplanes to crash. We have to be aware vigilant, and remember that we cannot think of every possible way threat actors, including terrorists, will come up with to wreak havoc on our homes, our companies, our society, our world. If I have not scared you into taking action to protect your Internet of Things, then you must have ice water in your veins. All of this is truly horrifying, and knowing that nothing that I have covered in this session is science fiction any longer should be keeping security-minded professionals awake at nights. None of this means that we should try to stop it. We couldn't even if we wanted to. We have our lives to live in the world in which we live. That doesn't mean that there aren't measures we can implement to protect ourselves. Keep learning and reading and be aware of the nascent threats to our brave new world. Security is not an area in which we should be cutting corners. We have to spend money to protect our assets, from nanny cams in the home to intercontinental weather monitoring stations and everything in between. We should be learning everything we can, including classroom education, but also reading journal articles and industry publications and professional blogs and forums, because the threats out there are evolving too quickly for the courseware to always be up to date. Once you have implemented your secure systems, you should be auditing them on a regular basis, tweaking them as needed, and bolstering them when necessary. This should not be a yearly or bi-yearly process, but it should be done much more frequently. Your devices will be good for years, but the security protecting them should be reviewed much more frequently than most of us think. Whatever security measures you implemented just a few months ago are already dated, if not already obsolete. Stay vigilant, stay aware, and remember that security is everyone's business, but you need actual security professionals with industry training and certifications and real-world experience to properly design and implement your security policies and procedures. Thank you very much. I will gladly take your questions now.
Thank you, Mitch. That was very informative. I know everyone is looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions into the questions panel. And while you do that, and now I'd like to give the presentation rights to Joby, our VP for Vendor Operations, to introduce our promotions and webinar-related courses.
All right, thank you. Thank you once again. My name is Joby Verghese. I'm the Director for Vendor and Products at Netcom, and I'm pleased to speak to all of you and tell you a few more things about Netcom Learning. And once again, on behalf of Netcom, we welcome you all for this event. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Briefly, I want to show what are the other benefits which Netcom offers to you as a technology learner. And we would like to quickly take you through our journey of how Netcom has reached this stage where we are and what sort of um, numbers do we have. So we started in 1998. This was started by our CEO, Mr. Russell Sarder. At this point, we have a lot of awards which we have won. The notable among them is Microsoft's #1 training partner of the year. And if you look at most of the organizations we have serviced, especially the Fortune 1000, more than 80% of them we have serviced. We have served US military bases, all of them, in fact, more than 100 of them and counting. And then, our portfolio has got about 3,000 plus certified instructors. So at this point, as we speak, we have trained more than 175,000 professionals in IT and related fields as well. Uh, Most of our customers do like us. So, we've been recommended by 96% of our customers. Since we are talking about security, so security skilling is a program which Netcom has created for avid learners like you who are keen to learn more and at the same time enhance your career prospects and at the same time update and upgrade your skills. So what we have done is we have created a specific program. We call it as security skilling program, in which we have courses from CompTIA, EC Council, IC Square, Microsoft, AWS, and we're also shortly adding Cisco to this particular skilling program. While we all know that all these vendors whom you saw on the screen, all of them offer a lot of courses, but then what we tried to do was to create a roadmap for each of those vendors, and we have created specialities. A quick glance of that particular page is this. We would encourage you to visit us at netcom www.netcomlearning.com and get more information from here. These are the specialities we cover, and if you come here and click on various specialities, you will get the courses which we cover on the right hand side. So this is our security skilling program. And if you look at the features, basically we have the best of the instructors. We have a global delivery capability. So wherever you are, United States, Canada, Europe, wherever you are across the world, we have the capability to deliver programs. So if you or your organization needs it, please feel free to get in touch with us. Um, we also have multiple learning modes. If you say that, virtual instructor led is something which you're interested in, or you want a private group training, or you are interested in self-paced, all those options are available in our security skilling program. And at this point, this has got more than 50 different courses and certifications from these vendors, which you see on the screen. Moving on, we also have a cybersecurity awareness training and phishing simulation solution for our customers. And this is one of those very important things, because we all talk about security, but we know that one small error by an end user of an organization can risk the complete organization of its resources. Its digital infrastructure could be at risk, and of course the IP and the data as well. So the end user training part of it, we have partnered with EC Council to offer a unique solution to our customers, which is basically to offer a phishing simulation solution. Along with that, more than 100 different courses to train the end users on safe, secure cyber practices. In terms of the security solution, this is what we do in the simulation part of it. There are three types of simulations we offer: entice to click, credential harvesting, and sending an attachment. We also offer simulations on voice calls, and you could also do simulations on SMS, which is sending a message to your team members to check how do they react to a bait kind of a situation. If you say that you want to assign trainings directly to your learners, you could do that from this platform itself. So if you think this is of interest to you, please feel free to get in touch with us. We'll be able to give you a detailed information on this. Moving forward, we have a learning passport as a product. This is basically a savings plan in which, based on the product, based on the value you purchase, you get additional buying power or additional buying power. So effectively, your purchase per unit becomes lesser. So, for example, if you take our learning savings passport, which is for premium, which is for $75,000, you get additional 60% value over and above $75,000. And we would match it with the course prices, and you could assign this value to your team members based on the specific trainings which you want them to take and the trainings which you want them to and which you want those learners to undergo. This has got more than 4,000 courses, and this is a 12-month option which is available. So within 12 months, you can assign trainings and consume the value which is given. Overall, when you look at it, this is effectively a 60% additional value which you get for the same price. This is in comparison to the list price, which is mentioned on our website. The next is Learning Voucher Passport. Voucher Passport is our another platform where another package which we offer to our customers. If you say that you have decided on the number of days of training, so you could work out basis the number of days. So let's say your budget is 100 training days and you have 20 people, which effectively means that you have 5 days of training to be assigned to every person. Again, here, when you invest let's say you purchase premium for $44,000, you get additional value in terms of number of days training. This is again an advantageous product if you think that your learning plans are ready for the year and you know how many days of training you need, and this could be definitely beneficial in comparison to the standard prices which are there on our website. We also have a subscription platform, and this is for individuals, and at the same time, this is also for people who are working, who are looking for training for their people within the organization. So we have three different types of subscriptions available. Silver, this is free. And to give you details about this silver subscription is that this is going to be free for everybody. So please do visit www.netcomlearning.com, and you will definitely get this access to the free subscription. In this, we offer more than 300 courses. The next one is gold subscription. It's priced at $199. You get 400 plus e-learning modules from various vendors. And the most popular subscription of ours in Netcom Plus is called as Platinum. This has got more than 400 e-learning modules, and at the same time, more than 100 virtual instructor-led classes at a small price of $2,999 per learner. Just in case you have a higher requirement in terms of value, you could also get in touch with us and we can try and work out uh, a, a price which would match the volume which you're looking for. And this is our latest offering, and we would encourage you to visit us and get more details about it. We have some more resources on our website, courses and certifications. Obviously, you know that we have more than 4,000 courses and certifications. So please do visit our website. You'll get detailed information about the courses, the trainings, the certifications, the exams, and so on. We do run virtual events, the one which you're listening to, similar to that. We also run master classes at no cost to you. So please do visit our website and go to the event section. You would definitely find a lot of those options which are available there, or which could be of your interest. You could register for them and attend it. Some of the previous events, we do have recordings as well, which you can access at no cost to you. We do have blogs written by industry experts on various topics. If you, since you are a learner and you want to be updated, you want to keep yourself updated on various things, the latest topics in blogs would be available. We already spoke about the savings programs and promotions. Last but not the least, we are on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. We constantly give updates of our offerings and promotions on these platforms. We would encourage you to visit us on these platforms as well, and subscribe to us so that we are able to give you the related information. That's all from my side. Thank you all once again for attending this event, and we look forward to seeing you in another one.
Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Jobby. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. If you haven't yet, it's not too late to pop your questions into the question panel. And as we start our Q&A sessions, we're also going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us to know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register. The first question we have today is, where is the best place to find the patches for our Internet of Things devices?
That's a great question. While there are so many sources online to get security patches for operating systems and applications, the best place to source your patches for your IoT devices would be directly from the manufacturer. In fact, it is a common tactic of threat actors to create a patch to a device that looks legitimate and then release it for download on the internet. In fact, it is often those patches which actually introduce new vulnerabilities into your device and should be avoided at all cost.
Next question is from Liam, and he would like to know, how much should we be spending to secure our IoT devices and infrastructure?
You know, this question is one that I get for traditional systems all the time. The UCA, or Universal Consultant's answer, applies. It depends. What are you protecting? You are not going to spend $1 million to protect $25,000 worth of assets. Of course, we have to consider the value of our data as an asset as well. If you are protecting millions of dollars worth of assets, then you need to do a proper assessment of the cost benefit analysis with your eyes open to all of the risks that you are protecting against. You also have to consider the locations of your IoT devices, monitors, and sensors. If they are all in-house behind secure walls, behind your firewall, then you will likely spend less than if you have them deployed around the world in the wild. But that is not a hard and fast rule. Before you even engage your security consultants, you should be sitting with your team to determine the value as well as the loss potential, including reputational loss of a potential threat.
Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 representing outstanding, and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.